Something that's going to work, and a lot of people think they're bad gardeners, but they just chose the wrong plants.
Okay.
Our plants are guaranteed. The perennials are guaranteed for a full year. This is a brand new one, and if you love the blues, this is the only way to have the blues.
This is Salvia, and it is a manageable plant. First of all, I love these stems.
It's blue marvel.
Yes.
That's what this is, and I mean, they're absolutely gorgeous, gorgeous blue. Again, a plant that the deer will not touch.
Okay.
That's what we're aiming for, things that bloom all season long that are absolutely, and I think this might be about the lowest quantity of anything we have in the show.
And these are brand new today. So I had never seen this particular variety. And you won't find this at your local garden centers.
No.
You won't find this type of pop of color. This is a manageable plant. This is only going to grow 10 to 12 inches in height.
And that's the beauty of it, because these, if you picked up the agastache that we had earlier, I'm going to pull all these together at the end of the show
For butterfly
to show you
bushes?
with the butterfly bushes, because the butterflies love this too. Again, another plant that the deer will not touch. This is great. I've got this on the far reaches of my garden, and I've got a lot of deer, but also I don't have an irrigation system.
Okay.
After the first season, when these are established, these are drought tolerant. You know, a lot of plants, or you have to baby them for the rest of time. I'm trying to baby myself at this point. But look at the pink highlights on here, because to me, if you've just got a regular blue flower, that's nice, but the pink draws your eye in. Most salvias that you see and you're familiar with are annuals. You have to plant them every single year. The deer won't eat any of the salvias, but this particular one comes back every year. So you can wean yourself off of the annual salvias.
Okay.
And this is your investment plant. And when mine are blooming blue on the back of the property, it's fabulous.
Well, here's the part that I loved about it. When you go to your local gardening center, Salvia is an average priced plant.
Yes.
But you'll still spend $5 to $6, $7 per plant.
Yeah.
We're asking people to spend less than $10 per plant, but it comes back every year.
It comes back every
in
year.
In your second season,
the clumps get larger.
Yes. I cannot tell you how important it is to consider going with Cottage Farms and talking about creating a true legacy garden.
Well, this is the best of the perennial blue salvias. I'll tell you a little something. This won best in show in England among all new plants for
last year,
2016.
Right? Okay.
Best in show, not just of salvias, of all new plants.
And it's not available readily. You can't find it.
It's not readily available, and it's blue marvel because it is marvelous.
My problem with my gardening is I would put plants in and I'd be fine for the first season. And then things would get out of control and get leggy. And then you've got to maintain it.
Correct.
And I would wind up cutting things back incorrectly and damaging plants. So this is a great way, if your gardening is somewhat relatively simple and you want to continue something that's easily maintained, this is a great way of getting that front border low growing.
Yes.
And I like the stems.
The stems are quite nice, but the foliage is big and leathery, and I'm convinced that's why it's drought tolerant.
Okay.
Because the big leathery foliage shades the roots, so it doesn't dry out as readily. So it's almost like it's got something like a mulch. It creates its own mulch, so the foliage is always looking good. And I had it in the far reaches of my garden because I knew I could count on it back there. And a lot of things you think, oh my gosh, I've got to put 3 hoses together to get out there and water that plant that's wilting. This was not one of those plants. I didn't have to worry about it. It behaved and looked gorgeous from a distance and even better up close.
You and I garden very differently, and I love your style. I do.
Thank you.
You are such an artist in what you can create. For me, I try to go for gardening scapes that look very, very natural. Like they weren't planted by man, that it just happened.
Right.
That's why I hardscape with so many boulders and things of that nature.
And I love that look.
This lends itself beautifully for that. And look at these pictures.
They're beautiful. You see the pink highlights, and that's what absolutely makes this pop. Great for cut flowers, by the way. Butterflies and hummingbirds will be all over it. The deer will not touch it. The plants themselves are only a foot tall, but the blooms are 10 inches tall. And great cut flowers. Early summer they start blooming, and they bloom all the way into fall, and good and sturdy and perennial. Most salvias are annuals. These are perennial. They come back every year reliably.
It's just, again, just another example of what you do so well. This award-winning plant.
4 of them.
4 of them in the set for that price of less than $40. First time ever made available here at QVC. These are brand new today. So if you're competitive in your gardening, and let's face it, anybody who gardens is competitive.
Of course, that's
All right?
why we're in it.
Exactly. You know, we have visions of Grandma, the sweetest woman in the world. And my dad would use the term putter. She would putter in the garden. No, she was trying to just really shame the neighbors who live next door that her bushes always look better than theirs.
These are shame-inducing.
Yeah, they are.
Yes.
We've got so much more coming up. A full hour of Cottage Farms with Philip Watson. Brand new, the new Salvia, the perennial at $38.12. Shipping and handling is free. Coming up, are we allowed to have favorites? I don't care, I've got a favorite.
Yeah,
It's
well,
the
so do I,
tomatoes.
because I'm hungry.
Yeah. This is not just 1, but 6 different forms of tomatoes. And I will tell you, a tomato you grow in your own backyard will always, 100%, always taste better than one that you buy at a commercial grocery store. And we'll explain why that is. That's the Cherokee Purple. Oh, and there are great tomatoes. You get six pieces in that set. Oh, here's one of the nurseries.
Here we are down at Cottage Farms down in Mobile, Alabama. This is where we grow all of our plants. We also try them to make sure that they're going to work in a harsh situation, high humidity.